Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of FFTM, the short version for Faithfully Free, Truthfully Me. We are a faith-based podcast for those that have just started following us and listening to us, and we talk about all things Jesus. That's the number one. Dating, marriage, relationships, anxiety, the whole 9 yards. Whatever you're going through, we probably have it here. It has been a little bit since I've released an episode. I kind of just took a little step back from the podcast and everything just because I've been going through a lot lately, especially with jobs and stuff. And for anyone who doesn't know, I've had terrible luck with jobs, and I haven't really fully found what I'm meant to do yet. And the only thing that's really keeping me going is FFTM, and I'm just so grateful for this community and the fact that I was able to start it and just help you guys get through things that I'm personally going through. Like, I know, like, we are all going through something, and that's just kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about with what happened to me at my previous job with the company I was working for. I was working for them for 8 months, and things were going good. It started off great, and I was so excited to work there. And you guys, if you guys have watched previous episodes, I talked about how my old company made me go. It's gonna take some getting used to. They had me go part-time so they could hire someone else, and I mean, it was going really well at first, and I don't know what the heck happened. But my new manager decided to hire another social media person, and she was going to drop my hours, and I was like, I could barely afford to work part-time, let alone lose more hours. And like, Nashville's expensive, and there comes a point where you have to start standing up for yourself. I have never been good at standing up for myself. I've always, like, there were points when I was working off the clock to get stuff done because I wasn't allowed to clock in, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I was reading in Ecclesiastes last night, and this verse just, and we're gonna read the whole book today. Maybe not the whole book today, and I might like separate it into two parts. But this verse specifically, it's Ecclesiastes 3:22. It's so I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? And it's like, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, which keep in mind, like, I did enjoy what I did with social media, and I want to keep doing social media. I feel like that is what I'm good at and what I'm called to, but I want to feel appreciated. And I knew that I wasn't being appreciated there just because they kept dropping my hours and not really giving me the recognition that I deserve. If there's one piece of advice I can give all of you, it would be, do not let other people walk all over you. You have to know when it's the right time to walk away. And it can be so hard, especially because like the job market is incredibly horrible right now, and I'm struggling to find something else, and I want to make sure it's the right fit too, because I am so tired of not having the right place where I belong. And I'm so tired of either getting laid off. I'm tired of not having the right place to work in. I'm just tired. It sucks. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors, at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes. Ever returning on its course, all streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, There they turn again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its full of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. Wisdom is meaningless. I, the teacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavy burden God has laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this, too, is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. So basically in that chapter, they're saying everything is meaningless when you're not following God, when you're not working for the Lord and bringing people back to Him. What's the point? Everything is meaningless. And when you're not loving what you're doing, why are you doing it? It's meaningless. Chapter 2, pleasures are meaningless. I said to myself, come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good. But that also proved to be meaningless. Laughter, I said, is madness. And what does pleasure accomplish? I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly. My mind still guided me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens during the few days of their lives. I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself. And the treasure of kings and provinces, I acquired male and female singers, and a harem as well, the delights of a man's heart. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me, and all this my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for all my toil. And for those of you who don't know what toil means, it's basically to work extremely hard. And if you're not working hard for God, then obviously it's all meaningless. God should be the center of everything we do in life because He's the one who created us. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Basically, when we chase after the wind, we're basically chasing after nothing because the wind is invisible, and it's like we're chasing after the things that we think we want, but it's not the thing that we need. It's not the thing that's good for us. Wisdom and folly are meaningless. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise have eyes in their heads, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. Then I said to myself, the fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this too is meaningless. For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise too must die. Toil is meaningless. So I hated life because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. And that's kind of exactly how I felt when every job that, I feel like I've tried everything and nothing is working. And it can be draining. And if any of you are experiencing the same thing, where nothing is working out and you just feel tired and done, it's not the end. God still has a plan for you, and you don't have to hate life because nothing is working out. This is a season of preparation for what's coming. All of it is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. I hated all the things I had toiled for under the sun because I must leave them to the one who comes after me, and who knows whether that person will be wise or foolish. Yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. This too is meaningless. So my heart began to despair over all my toil. Some labor under the sun. For a person may labor with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, and then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. This too is meaningless and a great misfortune. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they labor under the sun? All their days, their work is grief and pain. Even at night, their minds do not rest. This too is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too, I see, is from the hand of God, for without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness, but to the sinner he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Chapter 3, A Time for Everything. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? What do workers gain from their hard work? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that people will fear him. Whatever it has already been and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. And when he says judge every deed, he's not like judging you for being in the wrong position or just being in the wrong. He's basically like giving you props for doing it, basically. Like he's not shaming you for getting involved in that job or getting involved in whatever you did. That's what I got from it. I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so does the other. All have the same breath. Humans have no advantage over animals. Everything is meaningless. All go to the same place. All come from dust, and to dust all return. Who knows if the human spirit rises upward and if the spirit of the animal goes down into the earth? And then our favorite verse that we read earlier. So I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? Almost running out of time, guys. Okay, let's read 2 more chapters, and then we'll read more in part 2 of this episode. But how we feeling? I just really felt, as I was reading Ecclesiastes last night, I just really felt a call to read this with you guys because it really goes along with what I'm currently walking through. And given that the job market is so bad right now and so overwhelming and so it can make you feel defeated, and I just felt like this was a really important topic to talk about with people, especially people who are struggling to find what they were made for, because I'm with you. It can be incredibly hard. It can be sad, and you can feel extremely defeated, but it's not the end of the world. You will find your place. I'm right there with you. We got this. Again, I looked and saw all the oppression that was taking place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed, and they have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressors, and they have no comforter. And I declared that the dead who had already died are happier than the living, who are still alive but better than both. Is the one who has never been born, who has not seen the evil that is done under the sun? And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Fools fold their hands and ruin themselves. Better one handful with tranquility, and two handfuls with toil, and chasing after the wind. Again, I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil, yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom am I toiling, he asked, and why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up, but pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Advancement is meaningless. Better a poor but wise youth than an old but foolish king who no longer knows how to heed a warning. The youth may have come from prison to the kingship, or he may have been born in poverty within his kingdom. I saw that all who lived and walked under the sun followed the youth, the king's successor. There was no end to all the people who were before them, but those who come later were not pleased with the successor. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Fulfill your vow to God. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools who do not know that they do wrong. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven and you are on earth, so let your words be few. A dream comes when there are many cares, and many words mark the speech of a fool. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it. So when you're praying to God and you promise him that you will do something, do not delay it. Start small. Work your way up. Like I did with FFTM, I really felt him put this podcast on my heart, and I think I started it like way before I got laid off from my job in 2024, and like he knew what was going to happen and I had no idea, and that was kind of like my sign to like start FFTM and just keep building it and growing it and interviewing people. And I really truly believe that this was my calling, and I really hope that one day I can do it full time because I love it. I love helping you guys. I love reading the word and sharing the word with all of you, and it just brings me so much joy and happiness. And as they said in Ecclesiastes, this is your lot. There's nothing better for a person to enjoy what they do. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not protest to the temple messenger. My vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, fear God. Riches are meaningless. If you see the poor oppressed in a district, and justice and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things, for one official is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are others higher still. The increase from the land is taken by all. The king himself profits from the fields. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. It's basically saying that money is not everything. God is everything. money keeps us alive. Like, we need it to survive. Obviously, we have to pay our bills. But more money without God is meaningless. God is the only one who can satisfy us. As goods increase, so do those who consume them, and what benefit are they to the owners except to feast their eyes on them? The sleep of a laborer is sweet, whether they eat little or much, but as for the rich, their abundance permits them no sleep. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when they have children, there is nothing left for them to inherit. Everyone comes naked from their mother's womb, and as everyone comes, so they depart. They take nothing from their toil that they can carry in their hands. This too is a grievous evil. As everyone comes, so they depart, and what do they gain, since they toil for the wind? All their days they eat in darkness, with great frustration, affliction, and anger. This is what I have observed to be good, that it is appropriate for a person to eat, to drink, and to find satisfaction in their toilsome labor under the sun during the few days of life God has given them. For this is their lot. Moreover, when God gives someone wealth and possessions, and the ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy in their toil, this is a gift of God. They seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of heart. Let's read chapter 6, just because it's pretty short. I have seen another evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on mankind. God gives some people wealth, possessions, and honor, so that they lack nothing their hearts desire, but God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them, and strangers enjoy them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. It comes without meaning, it departs in darkness, and in darkness its name is shrouded. Though it never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than does that man. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over but fails to enjoy his prosperity, do not all go to the same place. Everyone's toil is for their mouth, yet their appetite is never satisfied. What advantage have the wise over fools? What do the poor gain by knowing how to conduct themselves before others? Better what the eye sees than the roving of the appetite. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Whatever exists has already been named, and what humanity is has been known. No one can contend with someone who is stronger. The more the words, the less the meaning, and how does that profit anyone? For who knows what is good for a person in life during the few and meaningless days? They pass through like a shadow. Who can tell them what will happen under the sun after they are gone? Wow. Okay. That was intense. I hope this episode helped you guys, like, even a little bit, just with, like, if you're going through a season where you can't find the right job like I am, know that you will. And I definitely want to do a follow-up episode where we read the rest of Ecclesiastes, just because it's been helping me so much with what I'm currently going through and walking through. And do you guys like these solo episodes? I kind of want to do more of them. I kind of want to do like one solo episode a month and then one with a guest. I'm kind of like rebranding a little bit with FFTM and just figuring out like what works, what you guys want to see. So I know we have a few more listeners, so thank you for subscribing to FFTM. And if you're seeing like a clip that pops up on your social media, hi, I'm Hannah. This is FFTM, faithfully free, truthfully me. We are on a journey. Come on the journey with us to follow Jesus, to get through life's many challenges that it throws at us, and just know that you're never alone. We are all going through something, and a lot of it is things that we all go through. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this episode helped you on Ecclesiastes, and I just want to close out in prayer and pray for anyone who may be going through a rough season right now, and know that it's not the end and God has you. Dear God, for anyone who is listening to this episode and they feel like they're not doing enough and they feel like they're just drained and can't find the right job, know that you have the right job out there for them, and you know what their purpose is, and you will give it to them when they least expect it, when they are ready for it. And just help them understand that they have to get to know you for the good to come to them. God, I pray that you are with them, that you will never let them fall, that your grace is so much better than walking alone. God, thank you so much for always getting me through the challenges I face and never letting me feel like I'm alone and walking alone. And you were always right there with us, even when it doesn't feel like it. We love you so much. God, thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of FFTM. I'm not sure when this episode will be out, but it will be out soon. Stay tuned for a follow episode of Ecclesiastes just so we can finish that book. And let me know what you guys want to see, who you want to see on the podcast. But love you guys, and I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.